Hey everybody, June 16th. It is Sunday and I am back from vacation. The beach was great, but it was time for this hillbilly to get back into the mountains. Even though it's Sunday, I've got a couple of things I want to get done. I want to take the dump truck and equipment out of security mode, which is really not a security mode. It's just to make things really difficult for somebody if they try to steal everything. I've got an extremely busy week coming up and things were kind of slow there for a little while, but then the phone has started ringing. So middle of June, that's pretty typical this time of year. The calls start coming in, emails start coming in. A lot of it is bush hogging, and I'm on the hunt for a new bush hog, possibly for the tractor or the skid steer. I'm not sure just yet. Just go ahead and get everything started and warmed up, and then we'll go over what all I've got to do. I'm gonna have Sophie with me tomorrow. So I've got to get everything staged to where I don't have to tote her around in one arm and get everything set up where she can tote along. Get the old Yanny started up next. Tell you what, it's hot as the dickens in these things today. This thing needs fuel. I guess we're just going to have to start everything up today. I forgot that I cut the power off since I was going to be gone for a bit. That's always aggravating. You go to get in a machine and it don't start. Well, I'll get this stuff sorted out before long. First thing I want to do, get the dump truck hooked up to the trailer, put the skid steer on said trailer, and I'll be ready to move back to the Brush Creek pawn job. Now that I've made yet another trip into the house to get the dump truck key, we can start it up. My memory's really going bad, folks. It's no good. Don't fail me now. Never fails. Two headsets means I'm going to be getting some very special help very soon. Emma got her own cell phone this year. We were really excited to give it to her. With that headset, I can talk to her while she's running a piece of equipment and instruct her, and it's like I'm sitting right there with her. Hi!
She said, I heard the machine, and I wasn't included.
For those who don't know, that's Sophie, my little baby. She'll be turning 2 soon. You gotta stay with me for a minute. I'll let you down in a minute. I love these even flow car seats. You guys that and ladies that have small children, this is the best seat because number one, in an older truck like this, you can pull that seatbelt all the way out and it doesn't like go back and lock. See what I mean? like newer seat belts, you pull it all the way out and you let it in a little, it'll lock at that point. My seat belt doesn't do that. I think it's just the age of the truck. But the way this works, you put both the lap part and the shoulder part through here, and once you lock it, that thing isn't going anywhere. And check this out. It's kind of a two-part seat. I think I got something hanging there. There it goes. And then you can turn it sideways, stick the kid in it, and do that. If you carry the kid up on the driver's seat with you, you can just reach them across, set them in, buckle them. If you're sitting waiting to get loaded or whatever, you can spin them. And this one also kind of tilts. So when it's nap time, you can recline them back, and when it's not nap time, you can sit them up. Obviously, I'm not sponsored. Evenflow probably doesn't even think their seats get put in dump trucks. But this is a really awesome seat. We've got this one in Kelly's car, and I just kind of shuttle this one back and forth between the pickup truck and the dump truck. Sophie loves it. And that does it for the Sunday chores I wanted to get done. Got the trailer hooked up, loaded with the skid steer, ready to go down to that job. Got the excavator with brush mower, ready to head over to that job. And it is Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. This bank looks a little steep, but we'll see if the old landlord can climb it. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, I've climbed a lot steeper than that. Let's get right to it. As per the usual, there's not supposed to be anything in here, but we'll see. Unless I mow primarily from right to left, that'll keep all that junk from getting slung out into the yard as badly. Oh yeah. I was concerned that this thing wouldn't mow too good because I turned down the hydraulic pressure, but Emma was running this the other day because it was so jerky. Let's have a little bit of fun here. Like I say, it's probably going to take me some getting used to this lower pressure. Get up here a little flatter. I don't think my air conditioning drain is draining. No, even on a lower pressure, that thing's working pretty good. So the stick has lost a lot of power, it looks like. So I may have to adjust the pressure back up just a little if I want to leave the blades engaged, like pump power engaged. As far as power to the head, it's seems to be mowing just fine. Honey locusts really don't put up much of a fight against this thing. I can pull up a little here. Use the body of the excavator to protect the house. Give her a little bit more idle. For fuel, as it were. We'll give it a little more fuel. These videos don't tend to get the views that dirt work does. People just don't like watching mowing a lot. But for those that do enjoy it, we'll keep it going. I see I'm getting a little bit far reached out. And this Yanmar just doesn't have enough weight in the back. I'm working by the hour on this job, so I'm not going to be stopping and repositioning the... Oh, there's a vehicle. I'm not going to be stopping and repositioning the camera a lot. Let's just keep that thing close to us. I've been toying around with the idea of welding a cage on one side, the intake side of that head, to keep that material from piling up on top of the deck. I'm not sure yet. I've got two mowing decks. I could do it to one just to see if I like it, or I could weld one up and make it where I can bolt it off and on. Now that I think about it, that's probably what I should do. Because until I do that, I've got to take like multiple cuts. The cat's over at the Brush Creek job. So I figured I'd fill this job in real quick using this machine. As far as the rotary cutters, both machines do pretty good. Really, unless you've got a high-powered machine, I wouldn't even recommend buying a mulching head. They just don't have the power to push. Small machines, that is. I think the biggest thing and take away from this video that you guys can get is, I guess, the technique that I use, as far as not just trying to cut it off at the ground level right away. I have had customers that they're like, I don't care if it looks good, I just want to cut it loose down to the ground so it'll stop growing, in which case then, you know, I'm just back and forth as slow as I can get it. I don't really like taking jobs like that because it doesn't look good. I don't think I'm going to cut these sticks off of this machine since Emma's going to be running a lot. She'd have a hard time reaching the pedals. Let's see, no cars, over we go. Those phone lines. I'm gonna make the phone company mad at me. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, I might have told this story once before, but y'all got to be careful around these roads because I was running a mulcher one time on an ASV machine, and I was facing toward the road, and this car come into my line of sight right when I hit a chunk of wood, and it slammed that chunk of wood flying. It went in their back window and hit the inside of their windshield right in front of the driver. That could have been a quick way to get sued. Very quick way. Oh, this is going to work out perfect. Used to be cow pasture over there, so I got a bunch of fence to kind of work around. See, that car's right into y'all's line of sight, ain't it? Let's move out a little bit here. Now that's something I've said in previous videos too. You can tilt that head up at an angle about 45 away from you and kind of mow progressively in slower bites, and that helps keep it from piling up on top too. All right, I think we're making some really good time. As you guys can see, that fence row is cleaning up really good, but when that head, like I'm just now starting to spool it up, you can see how slow that stick moves out, and it'll almost come to a stop. Now watch what happens when I let off of the thumb control. See how fast it is? I'm gonna try something here. Kill the engine. And up under here, I've got a switch wired into this machine. And when I hook this up, it adjusts the flow between the head and the boom to where it's a little more even. I had that done back when I was running the forestry mulching head on this machine a lot, and we were trying to get all the power we could to that head. Press the thumb over to start it, and then, like, my trigger button's wore out, but I can still start it. That light will come on. Idle him up. Let's see if that helped. Oh yeah, you can see it's a little bit better. Let's let that head get spooled all the way up. It helps a little until it's nearly vertical. Really, I use that stick control minimally. So we'll see if that helps. I know that with the mulching head, it seemed like it helped a lot that I could mow and track at the same time, and it helped pretty good bit. Yeah, see, it's helping quite a bit. As long as I'm not trying to mow like limbs up high. Now you can't swing into stuff as hard. Yeah, so I can tell a major difference right there. It's definitely pulling a little too much pressure away. Those sparrows are trying to attack me. They must have nests in here. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm gonna unhook that switch. It's been so long since I did much mowing with this thing, I've kind of forgotten all of the little quirks and dynamics. And that just goes to show you, you take a machine that's not made for mowing, you try to use it for mowing, and they just don't jive. There's a couple of Bradford pears right here. You know what they're good for? Nothing. It's the worst tree ever for splitting out and losing limbs and breaking. That would be one of the last trees that I would ever plant around my house. They look nice, they're beautiful. Man, when they get very big at all, they start splitting out. And once they split out, they're no longer pretty. Let's get a little closer. Woo! There's our first corner post. It always feels like a milestone to me when I reach the end of a fence row. As monotonous and boring as this work can be, you gotta find little successes to keep you motivated. Little wins. Whoop. I got into it. All right, time to reposition. Here's a quick little tip. I'm gonna shove my head down onto the ground to stop the blades because this little wild cherry here is leaning over a little too much. And if I cut those loose where they're at, they're gonna fall into that hay field over there. And that's just something else for me to clean up. So what I'll do is go up toward the top of it, bring them back toward me and snap them off if I can. If they don't want to snap, I'll just break the whole thing like that. And then we can start our blades up slow. And it doesn't sling them as bad, but you just want enough momentum to use it like a pair of nippers. A lot of this is elementary to the experienced folk. I still managed to sling one little limb over. But as I always say, I'm not perfect. I use those corners like fingers to manipulate the brush as needed. I don't know if where I've got y'all at now is necessarily a good view, but I'm trying it. Emma, she says my videos are like watching paint dry. She likes running the machines, but she definitely doesn't like watching it. Can't say I blame her. My AC fan's making a scrubbing sound, and I think my tube is clogged. A little bit of water drippage right there. I bet this one might be it. Let's see if I can figure out which one of these tubes it is. All right. Well, for not right now, the AC's blowing cold, and when I'm sitting fairly flat, that fan's not hitting water. So I'm just going to keep pressing on. But as soon as I can get this job done, I'll pull down there. What I'll try first, usually it's just a light glaze of mud down where that water collects. So what I'll do is I'll just take my air compressor nozzle, shove it in the end of that tube and blow on it. And that should clear it. myself between the house, its windows, and everything else that's fragile. Should be able to mow this patch. I've got the entrance and exit sides of that brush mower, which is the left and the right. They're running parallel with where the house is sitting right now, so it'd be really tough for it to really sling much anything of size and take any windows out. When you first start doing this work or you're getting used to a new head, I just probably wouldn't recommend working around houses, honestly. Man, I bet this is like watching paint dry. It's a lot more fun to do it. I can assure y'all one thing, I probably won't be re-watching the video while I'm doing my editing. I'm swinging side to side instead of just pushing the head straight down on that stem, because that's what will really create chips and chunks that could potentially get slung toward the house, and we don't want that. Level myself up with the blade here. Septic clean out spout. Getting ready to come a storm, that's for sure. I'll be surprised if we don't get one this evening. It is humid. Next up, we've got this little tuft of junk right up against this barn. I'm gonna have to be real slow and ginger about this. So we'll just do a quick before and after review. It cleaned up pretty good. And that's about as close as I really want to get to this fella's garage. If it was my garage, I'd probably chance it and get a little bit closer, but I think that's good enough, don't y'all? Let's move on. And yes, this is the 45-degree elbow that we just put on that last pond project we did. Water pressure blew it clean off. I'd like to go ahead and get my pancake compressor, go over there and fix that drain. Make sure this is going to start first, get the pressure off of it. It's a good way to get gasoline blowed on you too. Got the Petro. Don't fail me now. Something has happened. I thought that sounded too good to be true. It smells flooded. ain't venting good. Come on. This cap will do that sometimes. Gas is bad. I bet you anything. Dude. That's gas. Watch out. Dang it. Got myself. Got the compressor charged up. We're going to run over here to this field and attempt to blow that drain line out. So hopefully that blower and the air conditioning unit on the excavator will drain. Well, let's see what we can do here. This around here. Put my safety glasses on. I don't want to get my eyes full of stuff. Ready? That did something. Ready? That about blew the skin off of me, didn't he? I want y'all to look at this. That blood on them blame things, that must be a drain. But I looked up in here and look at this. That thing started pouring the water out. That must be my drain. I don't know why in the world they got stuck way up in there, but by gosh, once I got it, I squeezed it and it started pouring. That's our problem right there. I got on to it. I bet if I crank this thing up real quick, that'll run and wash that out. Let's try it real quick, see if that gets to running. That just goes to show you right there. Sometimes the obvious problem's not obvious, or the solution. She's running now, boys! Woo! Always like to end my day on a good note, and to have a piece of equipment working like it should at the end of the day, it's about as good of a note as we can get. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.